And welcome to our show, Geeks Wired Podcast. We're talking about video games, movies, TV, comic books, technology, and TLDR, the Internet of Things. I'm your host, Bill. This week, we have Anthony.
Hi.
And you can contact us by emailing us at geekswired@gmail.com or leaving us a message or a text message. Voicemail. Yeah, voicemail.
Yeah, voicemail. That's a thing.
Yes. Still, some people aren't big fans of it, but
yeah,
it's easy. By calling us or texting us at 801-896-4335. That's also 801-896-GEEK. You also can help support us at our Patreon at patreon.com/geekswired, where you get access to the podcast early. You also get access to the bonus episode, The Geeks Are Wireless. And also just supporting us. It helps out. We can upgrade our equipment and all that jazz.
And we get to eat.
Yeah.
All right.
So, what?
I wanted to talk about the flippy phones.
The flippy phones?
Yes, we're into a new decade, and the flip phones are all the rage these days. So
are we
not
into
quite.
a new decade, or are we end of the last decade?
We count it. Decade started 0.
But one's the first number.
Depends,
so says the Romans.
Okay, well the Romans didn't have a concept of 0, so.
But they invented the numbers.
No, they didn't. If we still used Roman numbers, we would be counting with dash 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 V dash 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 L dash 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 C dash 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 M.
You totally missed the X.
That's okay. Yeah, I got all the other ones.
I know. I was like, you went right past it. I was like, somebody's going to say something.
Yeah.
Maybe I should say something.
Yeah, Bill said something.
Aha.
So yeah, no, the Arabic number system is what gave us the 0, and that's why we use it.
Yay.
Before
0.
we didn't really have a concept of nothing.
Or negative.
But to be fair, I don't know that. Well, I think they did have a concept in negative.
No,
it was just
that was later,
monetarily speaking. Like you could carry a balance, though I don't know that they counted as negative. It was just you owed this person this much, so it was negative.
It was,
but it wasn't negative.
My favor, but not in yours.
Yes, basically. So I think you're right, but technically not at the same time.
You just love how numbers and math works.
Yeah, well, we could talk about you have 1 pence and 1 stone and one grain. I don't actually think grain's a monetary value. Pence and stones are, though.
Yes. I have no clue how much I weigh in those.
You don't know how many stones you weigh?
No clue. I'm sure there's a calculator for that.
It's weird that that's a weight system and a monetary system.
Yes.
At least stones are. The stones part is. But, yeah, the flippy phones. We're back to that.
Flippy.
There's now 3 phones. Well,
there's one last gen, and there's 2.
Well, technically, there's been phones before that, too, where that had a curvable, bendable phone screens, but what the major manufacturers are producing flip phones now, and there's been 3 so far. 2 by Samsung, 1 by Motorola.
Yes.
And they've started to come down in price a little bit. Like, I think the Galaxy Z Flip is actually cheaper than the Motorola Razr is right now. I think. They're close to the... Okay.
No, the Z Flip the Z is cheaper. And it's been tested a lot better, and better reviews are coming out. In fact, it sounds like people might be going in and trying to cancel their
Motorola orders. Yeah. That's not surprising because with Motorola, it's cool. It's nostalgic. It has a huge chin, which is not what people kind of want these days. And it makes holding it awkward and just a lot of stuff. There's problems when you open it up, the screen in the middle is lifted up off of the phone. So if you get any dust or anything in it while it's open, it's kind of GG for the phone. After a while, at least. And when you open and close it, it's bleh. And there's been some durability issues with the actual folding part of the Motorola where it could fail within the first year of having it. And that's just with normal use. It's not being excessive.
No, it's not even with that. One person actually had pixel issues and all that.
Mm-hmm.
within a 45-minute train ride.
Yep.
And it stayed in their pocket. They're like, I don't even wear tight jeans. It was just everything
Probably
is fine.
A fleck of dust got under it.
Something, but couldn't figure it out because it was in his pocket. Or used it, pulled it up, threw it in his pocket. Everything's fine. And next time he pulls it out, it's starting to separate on him, massively. And it's like, he's like afraid to close it because every time he does it, it's just starting to, the gap is, the pixels are starting to be all issues.
To be fair, when the Galaxy Fold first came out, they had a very bad first run. To be fair.
But it is the first gen of folding phones, of major folding.
Technically, I think we're close to the second gen now. Ish. Depends on what you consider a generation. With phones, it's kind of weird.
Okay, we're in alpha and betas. How about that?
Yeah, we might still even be in alpha. Like, there's, like, the Z Flip is good. I like the idea of it. Like, it does make the phone thicker, but you don't have a huge, massive phone just, like, on your thigh. It's just only taking half of your thigh now.
It's just a big old square bulge.
Yeah, it's like a square bulge. And I think, I like that idea. Just because, like, I don't know. I just, like, that's a way to make the phone smaller without making it, make the phone smaller without making it super ultra thin, meaning more battery, because a lot of all of these have batteries on both sides. One, to help balance it out, but two, just because there's empty space they can use. And I think, like, the Galaxy Flip, I think, had something like a 4,000 milliamp hour. The Z Flip has, like, somewhere in the 3,000s. I don't know what the Motorola has, but yeah, I was actually kind of impressed with the Z Flip, even though, like, their marketing is kind of shady, but just because they were saying that they've made the world's first, like, bendable glass, and then you can, like, JerryRigEverything did a review on it, and he was able to scratch it with just his fingernail. But then Samsung did respond to it.
Finally.
It didn't take them that long, honestly.
It made at least one full news day.
Yeah, but to be fair, like, it was just, like, he is a popular channel, but he's not super popular. Like, he's...
Oops. Noises.
Does this have 7 million views?
Yeah.
Go to his channel normally. What does this stuff normally get? Because this has been viewed a lot, probably from it going viral.
Yeah.
You could just mute that.
What?
You could just turn off your speakers.
What? That's crazy sauce.
I know, right?
16 million.
I get okay. Million. So some of them.
I guess that's popular. So uploads. If we go to the just upload page, his latest stuff, 3.7.
Okay, I guess. Well, it's
362,000.
Yeah. Well, that's not tech related. That's just, well, okay. It is tech related, but it's not his normal stuff, so people didn't watch it really.
He
gets about 1 million.
So
to 2
his
million.
bad stuff is in like the 300,000 to 500,000. Is under 1 million. His common is actually he's hitting ranges everywhere from like
they're
1
pretty
to
wild.
7 and yeah.
But my point is that this video is abnormally high just because all the news outlets have been going crazy with it. Like, it's gone viral and it's only helping him.
Yeah.
But anyways, so they claim that it's the world's first bendable glass, but because you can scrape it with your fingernail, it kind of put that into question. And so Samsung put out a statement that was like, we have a protective coating on the top of it. There underneath it, there really is glass. And this is the one, like, this newest one actually shows the glass. It's his latest video at the moment. It's called "Where is the Glass?" So,
because when you peel off the plastic, it's like the old, it's like the cheaper plastic covers.
Well, I wouldn't even necessarily say it's cheaper. It's just protective and it's malleable enough to work. But when he's pulling it off, it does break the LCD underneath. But then he's like, I think he had tweezers or something, but he used tweezers to rub it along what he thought was the glass, and it was glass. He did get shards of glass in his thumb.
Oh.
So it is glass. It's just their marketing is a little bit. It's not 100% true. Like, it's true, but not in the sense that people will like perceive it. Like
because
this can only hurt them, I think.
Yeah, because you can take your finger and like the cheaper plastic covering, you can rub your finger across it and it will start to dent and stuff like that. So
yeah, he's about to pull it off. So
yeah,
so just watch this.
But it kind of looks like one of the.
It looks like a screen protector, but now it starts to break around here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just starts
to shatter.
Yeah, it just shatters, but it's kind of cool actually. Then I think he actually takes it off at the end, like all the way, but
he wants to try to save as much of the screen as possibly can.
No, not really. This phone's already done.
True, he did.
This is a teardown.
So yeah, he's been doing those and
but to their credit, this is actually to Samsung's credit, that's not a bad phone. Like compared to their original one, especially the first run, this is actually pretty good. When you get dirt in it, the bristles they have on the inside of the hinge, the dirt still gets in it, but it does quite a bit better than the original did. Like it won't immediately break it. It's still fragile. You still wouldn't want to take this to the beach or something when you accidentally go outside.
Most cell phones, you're kind of not winded. Yeah.
No, I wouldn't say that anymore. Nowadays, I guess everything's water resistant.
True.
And most things are dust resistant too. We're kind of taking a step back in that sense. I think these are still waterproof, but they're definitely not dust proof. Not right now. Or, sorry, resistant.
Yeah.
They're definitely not dust resistant, but yeah, see, there you go.
When he really goes after the glass.
Yeah, there is definitely glass there, and it is ultra thin, and it is bendable. We're just not quite to the stage where that can be on the outside.
And yeah, that's what I was saying. They waited a whole news day to really try to get the correct answer to this, which I think actually hurt their sales for a bit. Because
maybe.
It meant that, hey, we are glass. Look how awesome we are. Oh, we lied to you.
Yeah, lying is kind of a, I don't know,
it was interpreted.
Yeah, no, it's definitely interpreted as a lie. They didn't lie. They just didn't tell the truth.
Yeah, they deceived. Well, they I wouldn't say deceived.
I would say deceived.
Yeah,
but on this one, I think they say it's glass because when you feel it, it does kind of feel kind of like glass. Mm-hmm. It's just. You can scratch it as easy as you can scratch plastic. Yeah. Is the unfortunate thing. But we're close. And I kind of hope that stuff like this continues going forward. Yeah. And I think the only reason why Apple's not doing this is because of reliability reasons. As soon as they can get it not just scratch really bad, I'm pretty sure Apple's going to be doing the same thing too. And that would be kind of cool. Because I'd probably get one.
Takes time and
yeah, it takes time. We're definitely at the forefront. We're in the early adopter stage, but it's still cool, and it's actually progressed faster than I thought it would. In all honesty,
true. I don't know. I'm still having issues paying $1,000 for my phone
for sure, but it's still gone down. And to be fair, this has, I would probably say, half the amount of screen that the original one did, so that's one reason why it's cheaper.
Yeah, but
it's still $700 cheaper.
True.
So it's at least doable now, and the specs on it aren't terrible. The Motorola one has I think last gen or worse specs, and they want $1,500 for it.
Oh yeah. Oh, and this one.
They have 8 gigs of RAM, which is plenty for a phone, and most phones. And it has good battery life. The screen's not bad. Has good cameras.
It is missing one thing that the rest of the Samsung 2020 phones are having, or 20 phones are having.
I know what this is. I don't remember what it is though. See, there's 2 batteries. You got a little baby one on the top and then a big one on the bottom.
Interesting. So, what is the Z Flip missing that all of the 3 other Samsung phones have?
Fingerprint sensor on the screen? I think it's missing that. I think it's on the side.
Huh. Okay, I didn't know about that.
I don't know that, though. I don't remember. I've watched this, recently.
Yeah.
I think I watched the first one Monday night, and then I watched this one last night because it came out last night. But, what is it? Because I don't remember.
5G.
Oh, that's right. Which, to be fair, I think they did that for a cost-saving thing, because that probably would have pushed it up to the plus 1,500 mark.
Yes.
And it's not going to be super useful anyways. for most people. So they figured that the people who are going to buy it aren't really going to care about 5G at the moment, I don't think. There'll be some, mind you. But I think they're more forgiven on this one than other stuff.
True. And I'll admit, this one, I think 5G, it's nice. It's not as important right now.
Yes, very much so.
Especially for Samsung. So this is the other thing. You also have to pay attention to which Samsung phone you want if you're wanting 5G. Mm-hmm. If you get their bottom tier smartphone or their bottom tier phone, it has sub 5G. It has the bottom level, bottom.
The stuff that like AT&T is pushing out as 5G right now?
No, the stuff that T-Mobile has.
Oh,
the
okay.
stuff that only T-Mobile has.
So it has the low density 5G.
Yeah. Or the sub channel.
Whereas this doesn't have any.
Yeah, well, this doesn't have any. But that means that the bottom, if you want 5G and you buy the bottom end phone, you better be with T-Mobile. Otherwise, you're not getting 5G.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Verizon is talking about putting this out so they can have the coverage mentality. They're not. They haven't put it out yet.
Mm-hmm.
So we're at the point in 5G where you have to pay attention to your phone and your carrier and will they work together.
It's just like with 4G when 4G first came out, and probably the same thing with 3G when it came out.
It wasn't nearly this crazy because we didn't have so many bands.
Yeah, and it was also that if you wanted like 4G, you basically, like that was when smartphones were first coming out, or like within like the first couple of years afterward.
Yeah.
So if you had a smartphone, you generally had 4G. There were some exceptions, but you generally got it. I know the first iPhone or two didn't have it, but
yeah, I was like, I think 3G.
Actually, no, the first iPhone didn't have it till technically the 4S, but that wasn't 4G. The first one was 5.
Yeah, the smartphones were around during the 3G.
You're
time.
right.
It just wasn't great.
Yeah, and I remember when 3G was blazing. I considered it blazing fast.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And I kind of wonder if that's like the carriers are purposely limiting that. Like, there's probably like, because no one's using 3G, there's probably tons of bandwidth on that right now.
Being shut off.
I know, but
there is still. I actually ran into it. I thought it got shut off already,
Mm-mm.
and I ran into it not too long ago. I was like, what?
Like, Edge is still around, but it's only there for like just making
Maybe
calls.
Maybe it's 2G is getting shut off. But 2G got shut off, and 3G is getting ready to get shut off.
Yeah, it's like when analog got shut off, quote unquote shut off. Like, you could still get analog signals, like I think up to like 2 or 3 years after the fact, because I was still able to use an old analog phone.
India still allows analog.
Yeah, and the only reason why they shut off analog here is because they wanted to reuse the signals for other stuff.
Because you can.
It's fair.
Yeah, you can shove more digital bandwidths into the.
I still think they're purposely making 3G not as fast, because I don't remember it being that slow. Like, it used to be decent. But, and I know the internet was much like lighter on data back then.
But you're also forgetting there's a lot of users now too.
I know, but they're not on 3G. They're on 4G. So either they're diverting all of the
power into the new stuff,
all the power or bandwidth to the new stuff, which is fair, or they're purposely limiting 3G so that people buy 4G. People get 4G.
But 4G is just, common now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to get a phone that only has 3G, it's like, why? What?
Like, it's just something that I've thought of. It's not like I care about it that much, because I mean, I'd rather 4G. The only reason why I'd consider 3G is if I was like just passively downloading something or streaming music. 3G still works okay for streaming music. It's still not great, which is why I thought about it originally, because I could stream 3G all day, like music on 3G all day before. Now it's kind of like, if you get knocked down to 3G, you're hurting.
Yeah.
Even for music, which doesn't seem correct to me.
See that?
But yeah, it's whatever. So, we've talked about that to death. We could talk about it more, but what is this?
So you've heard of folding phones. How about a slide-out screen?
Oh, this is that phone. No. Okay, I haven't seen this phone.
You haven't heard about the TCL?
Okay, actually, kind of. I have heard about it a tiny bit. I knew this existed, I just didn't know who it was and why, and I think I just barely heard about it last night.
Oh, okay.
So I haven't really looked at it, no. But I don't know.
Okay, actually, before we get into this, so the Z Flip, great idea, is you also can set in like an L shape.
Mm-hmm.
So it's great for like setting your phone down to take selfies or do little TikTok videos or stuff like that. You don't need to worry about getting a stand for your phone.
That Z Flip also has a selfie screen on the front, which is, I think it should be bigger, but it's okay for what it is.
But it's very useful for what it is, considering the Razor's already having tons of issues.
Okay, cool idea. Then we'll go back to yours.
Okay.
I kind of think it might be awkward with like how big that screen is, but you know how like with the Envy phones, like the old feature phones, where you could text on it like a normal phone, or you could flip it open like the other one.
Yeah.
Like if they made the whole screen on one side, like the whole like outside of screen, and then they just made like you had like a tiny keyboard that you could type on. I wonder how that would work, because then you just kind of hold it like this, kind of like how you'd hold a Game Boy Advance SP, and then just type on it like that. I wonder how it would work. I would be kind of intrigued by that, and I think it's cool. Samsung, if you like the idea, call me. I would like the royalties.
You would like something out of it, maybe a phone.
Yeah, or a phone. Phone would be cool.
He was like, "Hey, here's a phone. Great.
Make me switch off of Apple."
Yes. Come join the Droid army.
Literally, if I were able to try that out and I liked it, I probably would switch. Which is saying something, because I couldn't use my watch, and a lot of my other stuff wouldn't work anymore. So I'd be out a lot. All right, back to your sliding phone.
TCL sliding phone.
I'm kind of intrigued by it. Does the screen because it's a bendable screen, right? It looks bendable. Only in the sense that, I don't know. Is it bendable, or is it just hingeless, or not hingeless, bezel-less in the middle?
I think it's hingeless in the center, because there's not tons
of information.
It's leaked images.
Yeah, like it just looks too smooth, like in the middle.
I was thinking about the leaked images and all that.
Yeah, that's fair, and maybe they're doctoring them, but
so So it's more like a case that slides. So they're saying it's more like a dining table type of thing, where you pull your dining table apart and you have the extra
leaves. Yeah.
So this is you pull it apart, and there is you can definitely see the line on the back. But the line on the front is when you pull it apart, should stay smooth.
So I'm kind of wondering if the screen kind of like rolls out as you're pulling it. Kind of like with Ruby's, the show, like Anime Ruby. I'm going to call it an anime. Fight me.
Cartoon.
Yeah. Ruby, the show by Rooster Teeth. They have like the scrolls, which are their phones. They just call them scrolls. They're kind of the same idea. Mm-hmm. Like you can... I know they're not the same idea, but like you pull out on it. That's why they call it a scroll. But this reminds me of that. I know it's not the same idea, but it is at the same time.
It could roll out. Yeah, this is the front open kind of thing. So I could see it as you pull it apart.
Oh, except for it's not opening. Well, no, it is opening the right way.
It is. You grab the sides and you pull it apart. Mm-hmm. Like you were saying, like it's a scroll.
So maybe that's what they're doing, and that's kind of interesting. Because then you don't have to worry about hinges. But you do have to worry about dust getting under there, actually, to a much worse degree. If there's any dust in that while you're sliding it, you're done.
So that is the thing that's interesting. If it slides apart, then yes, you will not have to worry about a line on the front of your screen at all, because it'll roll out the screen from pick your edge, which will also be interesting, because that means how do you grab it? Because if it rolls, it can't roll from the sides.
Why?
If you grab the sides and you pull, and that's trying to pull from where you're grabbing.
That's why I'm thinking it would like roll out from one side and not the other. And you would still have that to a point, yes, but it's more doable that way if it only rolls out from one side. I just don't see how they're able to do this otherwise.
Well, they're saying
I don't see a seam.
That on the front,
it is leaked.
Yeah.
You're right. Well, it is still leaked.
It is leaked, but there's also, like I said, like a leaf on your table, which means you pull it apart, and then this piece is in the center. So which means this you're still pulling apart, and looking at the back, it looks like it would be a fully separate. These are two separate screens. They just happen. The screen itself just happens to stay close enough.
It's wedged underneath it.
Yeah, to be kind of like seamless looking.
Dust would still be an issue there.
Yes.
Not as bad.
I think it would be terrible, because if you get dust underneath when you close it up, you will destroy the screen underneath.
You'd have that with the slide out too, like if it was rolling out.
Because it'd roll up into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it would actually be worse.
Because it hit both sides of the screen.
Yeah, it hit like all of it, and then like instead of just being scratched in one spot, it's actually just ruined.
Mm-hmm.
And you would have a similar thing here, and it might actually be worse in some ways, but better in others. Like better in most ways, but worse in others. Just because, like with this one, if you do get dust in it, because it basically has to like push down.
Yeah.
To get out of the way. There's no way to like smooth the dust out with like any bristles or anything. Whereas if it's sliding in on the inside, you could, if you packed the bristles in enough and the dust was like coarse enough,
kind of like the hinge.
It could just brush it away before it even gets in.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying it's better in most ways, but worse in others. If it's doing that,
and hopefully, because that's the other thing also about these new styles of phones is like our phones. Yes, we all have screen protectors on our phones, but the glass is actually really good on modern phones.
Yeah, like I don't put a screen protector on mine anymore.
I'm almost not going to because I almost destroy the screen protectors more than I've destroyed. Though I've been cautious.
That's the point of them.
And also my PopSocket helps me hold it. And that's the other thing I was thinking, like these flip phones, putting PopSockets on it.
If I would have had a PopSocket, I probably would have dropped it that one day.
Yeah, see stuff like that.
Yeah, but then you lose wireless charging.
Yeah, that's why
which is a big deal to me.
That's why you get a PopSocket case that pops off. Or
I don't like that idea.
Or you can get the PopSocket wireless charger.
Huh?
You haven't heard about the PopSocket wireless charger? You take your PopSocket and you place it. So it looks like a giant donut.
Okay.
And you place your phone on it, and the PopSocket fits into the donut hole. And then it charges your phone.
So that would work. It depended on where you put your PopSocket and where your phone had the where your phone had the charging pads on it.
Wait, that's also something else. You wouldn't have to take off your PopSocket, depending on where your PopSocket is and what you use it for. Because back on that, hey, you want to set your phone down for a selfie or a TikTok video or something. A lot of people are trying to put their PopSockets towards the bottom of the phone so it can stand up.
Oh, stand up in portrait mode?
So you can do these type of things, which means that's not where the wireless charging is at all. The worst part about it is you just have to make sure that your PopSocket isn't like tipping your phone off of the...
Yeah.
Off of it.
Off of the charging pad. So... we're on PopSockets now.
We're on PopSockets.
Branded wireless chargers.
Yes. That is not
what you wanted.
Even remotely. I think I just clicked on ad. Oh, look at that. I got sucked into the ads. Is that it? Nope, those aren't it either.
Well, we find them eventually.
Yeah. I should probably have just gone to the PopSocket website. But there is. So it is, but it does exist. And like I said, it looks like a donut though.
Is it a delicious donut?
No, it's a electrical donut.
Spicy.
Mm-hmm.
Zesty? It might be more zesty. I don't know. It'd be more tingly. So, zesty or sour, I would say.
Oh, and also it only works because of the size and everything. So if you do a bunch of the small ones or the metal ones, if you have metal in it, you start having issues.
Yeah, the metal ones, yeah. Like, that's one reason why, like, I used to have cases, like, I had, like, magnetic mount things on my car where I could just put, like, a piece of metal between my phone and my screen and my case, and then just use it that way. But since stuff has wireless chargers now, you can't do that. And it kind of got like dependent on the phone, and the NFC thing, but it sometimes got in the way of NFC too. So it just depended on what you had and what you were working with. No.
Trying to get this to look I don't know, it's having...
Yeah, it's not loading for you at all.
This is what I get for playing around with my...
Like, you got...
Oh, but it does also work with your earbuds.
Does it?
Yes.
Are you sure?
It's kind of weird with it, because like I said, it's kind of like a donut, so you set this thing in...
Well, no, go back up. I had X's on those.
Okay, it kind of works. I know it has an X. It works, just not.
Who puts PopSockets on there? What? Oh, that's the one that. Okay, that's the one where you use the AirPod case as a PopSocket.
Yeah.
That's why it's saying it doesn't work with it. Okay, I get it now.
You're not charging through the...
Yeah, it won't. Yeah. Okay, that's why it doesn't work. Interesting. And it's like branded by them too.
Yes.
Okay, so that makes a lot more sense at least. More likely to be compatible. Due to high demand, the website doesn't work.
Apparently. But so...
It kind of works.
In the show notes. Maybe it'll work by the time the listeners don't get into it.
Yeah, maybe. Like the stuff that shows you how it works. It's just the products. The images aren't coming up right now.
Yeah.
We can see the products. We just can't see what they
this
look
one,
like.
if you put your PopSocket at the bottom of your phone...
I think it depends on the phone, to be honest.
There is
multiple except for it won't work with the donut.
Well, because your phone's sitting awkwardly on the...
Yeah, that's right. But if you had like a normal, like tiny charging pad, it would probably work just fine.
Correct.
Whereas if you put the PopSocket in the normal spot, those won't work with that one.
And if you have the wallet PopSocket, you have to take off the wallet. But that's probably better for your cards anyways.
Yeah, you don't want to... No, that you fry cards that way.
Try to
like
send...
the magnetic strip will still work, but your chips and your tap to pay, bye.
No, your magnetic strip might die too.
Will it?
Yeah, it is the same technology.
Yeah, you're right.
No, that is the same technology that is cassette players. I know we're talking really old tech here, but it is...
Hey, it's coming back. Okay?
It is digital still. It is, so it means sending electricity through any type of digital, your chips, your NFC, or your...
No, I was more going that since the chips are like full-on electrical instead of just magnetic, it's more like it would overload, like it literally overloads them.
It could. Yeah.
No, it does.
Yeah.
Like, there's been people who, like, if you like using NFC like stickers, some people have put NFC stickers on their phone, like in between the case and that, so that when they put up against something, like they have an NFC reader at their house or something, it would like do certain things. It'll fry it. It fries the circuits really bad. And I think the only way the NFC like chips in the phone get around that is they either turn them off so they don't get electrified, or they have some other thing to like reroute the power or something.
Or they put the charging stuff. They put the NFC on the other side of the charger.
Well, they'd have to still have shielding in the middle of it.
Or they could use the same tech, technically.
I mean, they do, because...
Well, the same chip.
NFC, whenever you activate NFC, it's just charging up a little tiny, like, a circuit in there, and then it just responds back with some radio waves. That's how NFC works. Which is why it's also not very secure.
Oh.
Like, at least the sticker ones aren't. So.
I felt like there was something else I was going to, like, totally pull up. I was a bit like,
the Galaxy Flip again.
Let's go to the Galaxy Flip. Let's go back to that.
Oh,
Can I
really?
go to that? No.
Oh, okay.
It's not that. Well, you did the slide phone. Felt like there was another technology that was coming out that I was like, guess what? And then I totally forgot what it was. Because I didn't put it in the show notes. I was going to be like, surprise! Surprise! I don't know, maybe I'll figure out what it is.
Yeah, you might figure it out before we stop in a couple of minutes, probably.
Yeah, it's going to be a few minutes. And then we're going to finish things up. And then I'll remember during our bonus episode.
Yay.
Yeah. So
yeah, clamshell, that's the design. I like clamshell designs. Like the Game Boy Advance SP, I really liked because it was clamshell. You could actually fit it in your pocket. It looked really weird and was awkward, but you could do it. That's kind of what these phones are doing too. Like the Z Flip is that way. Because it's still kind of thick, because that's just how it is right now. But
I go back on actually, and it makes the PopSocket wallet useless.
What?
Because the wallet is now bigger than my phone. And actually, I'll admit, I kind of like the TCL look. Yeah. It is the size of a phone, and then you make it a square phone.
I think it'll still be a little thicker than a phone, but your standard phone.
Well, I'm not worried about thick. I mean, but like it's tall, it's narrow, it's a phone, and then you make it a square phone, which means you now have playability and all this awesomeness.
You're right, though. It would make wallet phones kind of weird. Like, you could still do it, but it would just be a lot weird. Like, no, I think that would work.
I think even PopSocket, it might go over a little bit.
I don't know that PopSockets will work. because usually a lot of people either have them. They kind of have them towards the middle usually, and so you can't do that if there's a hinge there.
Yeah, you'd have to shift it down.
Yeah,
well, it
you'd
would
have to
be
shift
like
it down or up.
shift it down, yeah.
Which, I mean, a lot of people have it either down farther or up.
Well, you couldn't go up. You can't go up. You can't go towards the top of the back of the phone because that's where the screen is when the phone's closed.
Well, it depends on the device.
Okay, on the Z Flip and on the other one, the one that sucks.
Oh, the Razr?
The Razr. They both have outside screens.
Yeah, but the Z Flip only had a little tiny one, so it wouldn't cover it up. It would just look weird.
It makes it almost worthless.
Oh, you're not wrong, but I mean, it's almost worthless anyways.
No, the Z Flip's actually pretty good. You can do quite a bit with it.
You can, but like I've seen I saw a review on someone did it, but they showed like what it looked like, and it's a pretty low res screen, which is fine, but it also kind of doubles as a notification thing.
Yeah,
but it's too small to actually because the text will just flow by really fast. So that's why I was thinking it would be cool if the whole front was just the whole thing was just a screen, and then you could. I really want to see that concept I want to see that exist.
I also forgot. So, side note with the TCL, this was going to be released at the Mobile World Conference.
But it got canceled.
Yeah, it did because of the COVID-19. That is what everyone the coronavirus. This is the it was CO Corona VI virus. I forgot what the D stands for. 19 is the year that it was found.
Yep.
Because there are so many variations of a
viruses mutate. That's what they do.
So they're they're not linking it to a location. They're not linking it to the generic name as much. It's like saying the cold. Congratulations. Which version? So
yeah, that's true.
That's why the official name.
Yeah, and the coronavirus, there's actually quite a bit of different strains that they know of, so that's good that they're giving it a distinction. That's the first time I've heard about it, though.
Ta-da!
Ta-da!
Not the ta-da moment I was going for earlier.
Yeah, it's kind of a bleak thing, but
still. But all the other stuff is with the Mobile World Conference or whatever. Because it was canceled, it also makes people wonder if it's worth to go to these giant conferences or they just do their own thing. Because Apple's been doing their own thing. Mm-hmm. Samsung's been kind of working on doing their own thing.
Yeah, it's kind of doing the whole thing, having everybody there. It's kind of cool because there's more to do. You can actually interact with it. You can generally get some hands-on time with it because you're not crammed. You're crammed into a place still, but you're not in an auditorium watching a single thing out in the front.
Yeah, going to the Mac world or stuff like that.
There are cases where that happens at those conventions, but there's generally a bunch of booths that you just go to and you can sometimes play with the device. You only have a set amount of time usually, but depending on the booth. Though.
But there's also a lot of these devices that go there that never see the light of the news day.
They get displayed and then nothing happens?
Nobody ever, because there's so much there.
Yeah.
Nobody ever actually knows this phone even came to existence.
Yeah. And that's fair, but I don't know. I could see why some people would like doing what Mac and Samsung have been doing, what Mac's done for a long time, but Apple, I mean.
Yeah.
But I could also, just having everything there in one spot, it's kind of exciting. It's very draining if you're probably going to it, but it's kind of fun. So it'd be kind of sad if they started doing that in some ways, I think at least.
It could also be fun to go to these.
Yeah, no, it'd be fun to go to any of them, but it's just with these, with the conventions where there's a bunch of different brands there, you can go there and even if so let's say you're an avid Samsung user or whatever, you can go look at Samsung phones and then that's all you can look at. But if they did specific events for that one thing, you're not going to go to it. So, and maybe that's better because then there's not as many people, but I don't know.
is not a terrible idea either because
no.
Like with my lack of loyalty to brands,
Mm-hmm.
go to 20 different cons in 1 year or go to one.
Probably rather. What would you rather?
I'd rather go to one.
Yeah.
But that's because of my lack of loyalty.
I would still rather go to one.
It'd be fun to go to some of these, but the hands-on at these solo ones, like you said, even if they were to like put all of the demos out for this phone, like everyone that goes could actually get like decent hands-on time. It still seems like limited. Plus, I'm gonna spend an entire weekend. It's kind of that balance though. Like some of these cons have gotten so big that I'm like, I don't care. I'm just gonna listen to the news after when you come out.
Yeah, the one that's in Las Vegas is like that. Like
which one?
Okay. I don't remember the name of it. Unfortunately, it happened already this year.
CES.
Yeah. I don't know why I couldn't remember that.
It's all right.
Yeah, it's like you go there and a lot of people will go. God, I can't talk. The town's nearest it, like 30, 40 miles, like 40 minutes away, sometimes an hour or more. Yeah. They'll go there because they can't find hotels in Las Vegas anymore. Like, they're all booked.
Yeah.
So, and when you go there, it's like, there's just a ton of people. It's kind of amazing that they're able to handle all of them because, like, Las Vegas has a lot of people in it all the time anyways. But for that one, it's just, like, absurd.
I do remember what the, maybe one of the ahas was.
What was it?
The 5G.
Yes. What about
it? So Apple ended up saying, we're walking away from Qualcomm because your chip is too thick.
I didn't know about that, but that makes sense.
Yeah. Qualcomm came back and said, we actually have a thinner chip. And better quality, which goes with, that's if you go on the low band. Currently, if you were to switch over to 5G, T-Mobile's low band, instead of hitting the gigabits, you're probably only going to go, instead of hitting gigabits, you're probably going to go from like 30 meg to 50 meg. Maybe 100 meg tops.
Yeah.
Not going to see a lot of improvement off of this. With the new chips that are coming out, you actually, on this low band, you would actually see real improvement. Which also goes with, and then the high band, the ones that you must be standing within eyesight, no leaf, no window, no nothing in between you.
No
the
person.
Verizon stuff. Yeah, the Verizon. I see the tower.
No phone case.
Yeah. There's no leaf falling between me and it. Yeah, no phone case, no nothing. Those could actually get into the 10 to 20 gigahertz range.
Gigahertz?
Or not gigahertz. Gigabit.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's nuts. Though, not as practical.
Well, it goes back on okay, congratulations, you have high speed, but
no one can use it.
Well, you're late. Yeah, well, with the high band, obviously there's a problem. But there's also are you going to lose any of the information? Are you going to have any latency? There's all these little things that are just going to start kicking in to make it. Yeah, you can get internet to your house at ridiculous speeds. Will your internet provider actually let you do it? And is there truly losslessness? And
I don't know if the internet provider cares.
Sometimes they do. You know, those fast and slow lanes. I mean, slow and slower lanes.
Oh, okay, that's what you mean.
Well, there's that. That's when your internet provider is messing with you. When your own technology, it's like the same. I'm looking at Wi-Fi 6. So we're having some major technologies coming up with 5G and Wi-Fi 6. And even Bluetooth and all this other stuff. They're coming up. And so what we have now is with Wi-Fi 6, they've totally changed all the technology. It's not just first in, first out. It is everybody talks at the exact same time. And everyone gets all the same stuff.
Yeah.
And then with that, so it makes it where you don't have to worry about any of that information having the back and forth. Which is really useful, or it would be extremely useful for, you don't have to, with everyone being on the same thing. Because currently, all these Wi-Fi things, the same reason why I talk about cutting back all the Wi-Fi at the house. Because I don't want everything to be talking and slowing down my internet. Because, whoop-de-doo, an IoT device that I don't want to do anything except for when I want it to do something is part of the problem.
Yeah, they're pretty chatty.
Yeah.
Even the Z-Wave ones are pretty chatty.
But at least they're on a totally different thing.
Sometimes. I think Z-Wave is on a different spectrum, but
Z-Wave is.
There's a couple of them that share the same 2.4, but a lot of stuff isn't 2.4 anymore. It's 5.
Not the IoT stuff hasn't been shifting yet.
I know, and that's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Because 5, you don't have as good a distance. You generally don't need the bandwidth for that anyways.
Yeah.
So the only reason why I would see doing 5 over 2.4 is if you're in a very crowded place where there's just Wi-Fi galore, and a lot of it's 2.4, and there's a lot of traffic on that.
This will also make it so, like, when you go to your local grocery store or wherever, and they provide internet or whatever else, that is a problem. Like, you're in the back of the store, and it's a lead-lined building, so which means you need their internet, but everyone's there. Or you're at a convention. Oh, yeah, conventions.
Yeah,
don't expect
it's going to be bad.
If you get if they have Wi-Fi 6 and your device can take Wi-Fi 6, well, okay. Also, I should probably explain. Wi-Fi 6 is they started putting numbers on them. So Wi-Fi 5 is 802.1 AC.
Oh, so that's what AC is.
That is AC is 5.
So N4 was N.
4 is N, but technically they didn't. It's in that vagueness of yes, it's 4, but no, we don't care about counting. We started counting at 5. It's that count at 0 versus 1, which means
they skip 4 numbers.
Which means we still have 5 more years before the decade even starts. So 6 is AX, but trying to get away from because the full name for it is IEEE 802.11. Insert the letters, and then you also don't have to worry about the skipping of numbers and letters and all this stuff. I guess the numbers.
They'll still be called that in the background.
Yeah,
that's just not what they're going to call it.
They're making it easier for everybody.
Yeah, which is fair because after they got to double digit letters or double letters, and then there's where this one's AX, they're about to get into triple. No, they wouldn't.
They still have B's.
They'd have to go all the way to Z to get that. So they have a while.
They do.
But they're future-proofing it.
We should probably wrap things up.
All right.
I know. Maybe we'll continue it more on the other. But do you have famous last words this time?
Never.
You never have famous last words.
I mean, I've had it before, but just not lately. My brain's mush.
Okay. Well, that's why I usually have them written down, which apparently I lost. So I lost my list. So my famous last words is, how do you clean a spear?
You wouldn't.
I would.
Oh, no. We're bringing that. Okay.
All right.
You wash it?
Yeah, you wash it.
By putting it through the wash?
Yeah.